Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of It's Not Just Menopause. Today I'm continuing my series for my fuel method, and so I'm going to be talking about something that sounds like a good problem to have, not being hungry. Unfortunately, it's not always a good problem, especially if you're on a GLP-1. So when you start a GLP-1, the appetite suppression feels like a gift, right? The food noise quiets down. You're not thinking about food constantly. You eat less without even trying. And for a lot of women, that's when they think, ooh, it's finally working, right? But here's what I've learned, both personally, because I am on a GLP-1 still, 7 months, and working with women on GLP-1s in perimenopause and menopause. Not being hungry is not the same thing as not needing to eat. And confusing those two things is one of the biggest mistakes that women on a GLP-1 can make. And even I made it myself. So when I started my GLP-1, the appetite suppression was it was pretty significant. Like I wasn't hungry. I would get a little hungry sometimes, but it wasn't like it used to be. And because the scale was moving and I felt like things were finally working, I didn't really think about it, right? I didn't push it. I ate when I felt like it. Um and I know I was eating less for sure. And then, for a while everything seemed fine, but then I started to notice things like my energy was a little off. Like I was a little more tired than I expected to be. My workouts started to feel a little harder than they should because even though I'd been working out for a few years, I was losing weight, right? But I just wanted to like look into like why was I tired more when I shouldn't be tired. Um and so the medication had quieted my appetite so effectively that I had stopped listening to what my body actually needed. And that's a problem that nobody warned you about. Doctors, they're clueless when it comes to this crap. They really are. And then pharmacists don't know about it either. So here's what's actually happening with when your appetite disappears when you're on a GLP-1. So as we know, and I've talked about this before, the medication slows the gastric emptying and suppresses the hunger signals that normally prompt you to eat, right? And that's the whole mechanism. That's how it's supposed to work. What it doesn't do is change what your body needs. And I have talked about this too if you've listened to any of the other episodes. Your muscles still need protein to stay intact. Your metabolism still needs fuel to function. Your blood sugar still needs to be stabilized. Your hormones still need nourishment to regulate. None of that goes away just because you're not hungry. And in perimenopause and menopause, the stakes are higher, much higher. You're already more vulnerable to muscle loss because of declining estrogen. You're already dealing with blood sugar instability, again, because of declining estrogen. Your stress response is way more sensitive because of declining estrogen. Your body is already working harder to stay balanced. So when you layer chronic undereating on top of all of that, your body just sees it as a threat. Cortisol goes up, muscle breaks down faster, metabolism slows, and eventually your results will stall. And not because the medication stopped working, but because your body shifted into survival mode. And I've talked about this for the last few years in menopause and perimenopause, not even GLP-1 related, but even on a GLP-1 now, the medicine's not going to work because your body's in survival mode, your nervous system's all out of whack, and you're in fight or flight. Okay. And so the appetite suppression didn't create this problem. The undereating did. But it's kind of like a vicious cycle because you're not hungry because of it. But we can't not eat when you're on a GLP-1. You still have to eat. And so I want to talk about that, what chronic undereating on a GLP-1 actually looks like in the body, because I think a lot of women are experiencing this and don't recognize it. Fatigue that doesn't improve. Not the kind that gets better with a good night's sleep, the kind that just is always there underneath everything, no matter what you do. Brain fog, difficulty concentrating, feeling like you're not quite sharp. workouts that feel harder than they should, losing strength you didn't expect to lose, things that used to feel easy now are taking effort, like real effort. Hair thinning. This one comes up a lot. Significant calorie restriction, especially protein restriction, accelerates hair loss. If you've noticed more hair coming out since starting your GLP-1, your nutrition is part of that picture. It's a big part of it. You've probably heard the stories of women that have eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, and they're not eating hardly anything and they're losing their hair. That's the same thing with the GLP-1. You're not eating enough, and so your body just doesn't know what to do. Okay. So a plateau, another thing that, is a sign, is a plateau that doesn't make sense. Like you're on the medication, you're eating less than ever, and the scale just stopped moving. That plateau is almost always your body in survival mode, protecting itself from what it perceives as a shortage, a food shortage. I talk about this all the time with just regular perimenopause and menopause, not even GLP-1, because this happens naturally in women's bodies, unfortunately, with perimenopause and menopause. But then you throw the GLP-1 on top of it and it just makes it worse. Okay. And so these are not all medication side effects. These are all underfueling, not eating enough symptoms. Okay. And the fix is not changing your dose. Okay. So, because the higher your dose, the more muscle you're losing if you're not already trying to be proactive about it. So if you're already under eating, forget it. You're going to lose even more muscle and feel even worse. Okay, so what does eating with a low appetite really look like? Okay, first you have to separate hunger from need. Hunger is a signal. Need is the reality. On a GLP-1, the signal is suppressed. The need is not. Think about it. Your body needs a certain amount of calories just to function every single day. That's like your BMR, right? That's your basal metabolic rate, right? That's your basic. You need that just to be alive every day. And so if you're not getting that, your body is like, doesn't know what to do. It's like, thinks it's never going to get food again. It thinks it's dying inside and it's doing everything it can to protect you. And so you need a structure, not a rigid diet. I'm so anti-rigid. If you've listened, you know that. A reliable framework that ensures your body gets what it needs, even when every signal is telling you you're fine. Okay. And so that means 3 intentional meals a day. Even when you don't feel like eating, believe me, I am there with you. Okay. There's plenty of times it's been 2:00. I'm like, I never ate lunch. So I went and grabbed some cold grilled chicken to get my protein in. Okay. So even when the thought of food isn't appealing, your body still needs that fuel and it needs the consistency. Consistent eating tells your body it's safe. Skipping meals does the opposite. I've already talked about how intermittent fasting is the worst thing ever for women in perimenopause and menopause, because the longer you go without food, your body perceives it as a threat. It may have worked for you in your 20s and 30s, but guess what? It doesn't when you're in over 40 in perimenopause and menopause. It just doesn't. Your body doesn't work that way anymore. You don't have the estrogen to protect it. And it also means that you need protein at every single meal. Minimum 30 grams. That's non-negotiable on a GLP-1 in perimenopause or anyone over 40. Okay. You're protecting your muscle. You're stabilizing your blood sugar. You are keeping your metabolism running. And protein is how you do all 3 of those things at once. Your blood sugar, when it drops, it kicks in the cortisol, right? Which is the job it's supposed to do. But you don't need your cortisol to keep raising whenever your sugar drops because you're not eating right. And that causes more stress in your body. And your body still thinks it's a threat, okay? And it's not regular stress. If you've listened to me for any length of time, you know that I'm not talking spouse, job, kid stress. I'm talking under eating, over exercising kind of stress. The hidden stress that you don't know is affecting your body and holding on to that weight. Okay. So under eating, it means choosing like your intentional meals. You need to choose foods that are high in nutrition and easy to get down when your appetite is low. So like Greek yogurt, they have those now that have like 25 grams of protein in one little container, right? Eggs, you can do like hard boiled eggs, okay? Protein shakes. Yes, you can have protein shakes. Stop listening to the idiots out there that keep telling you to stop drinking your protein. Because guess what? If that's the only way you get your protein in, then that's how you're getting your protein in. Just make sure it's a healthier shake. I have suggestions for you. Reach out to me, but you don't want any sugar and crap in those, okay? Cottage cheese. I miss eating dairy. Oh my gosh, but cottage cheese is high in protein and it's a great source. And small portions of dense, nutrient-rich foods that don't require a lot of volume, okay? So there's sometimes where I don't feel like eating, but I know I need to, so I will make another shake. I always have a shake for breakfast, but I have like a 40-gram protein shake. So I'm getting lots of protein in mine, but it's like sometimes I just don't feel like food, okay? And that's okay. You can have your protein shake. And it means eating on a schedule even when you're not hungry. Set a time. We all got our phones. Set a timer on your phone. Eat at that time. Your body will start to appreciate it. The hunger signals may not come back fully, but the consistency itself becomes a regular signal. We want our body to feel safe. So the more consistent you are, the more your body's going to start relaxing its nervous system and losing that, letting go of that fat it's holding on to. Okay. And it also means paying attention. Track your protein, not forever, but long enough to know what 30 grams actually looks like on your plate. So many women are shocked when they see how little they're actually getting. And I mean, you can say, oh, I had this today, I had this. No, because how many times do you grab a bite of this, a taste of this, a lick of that, or whatever? You need to actually write down every single thing that goes into your mouth for a couple to 3 days to see a picture of what you're actually eating. Like when I help women for that on macros, because again, I'm twice certified macro coach. I need to know what you're actually eating, not to like say, oh, stop eating those Oreos. No, I need to know so that way we can create a plan and go from there, because you can't fix what you don't know. And you also have to be truthful with yourself. So if you're not willing to face what you're eating, either overeating or undereating, you really need to in order to be able to move on. Okay. And so not being hungry definitely feels like the medicine is working. And it is, but it's not doing the whole job, because your nutrition is 99% of what to help this medicine. Okay. So the women I see getting the best results on GLP-1s in perimenopause are not the ones eating the least. They're the ones eating the most intentionally. They're hitting their protein. They eat on a schedule. They treat their nutrition like a non-negotiable part of the process, because it is. And if you want help building an entire structure that works for your body on a GLP-1, that's exactly what I do inside my GLP-1 nutrition intensive. It's a my one-to-one program, and it is 1,000% customizable to you. Well, 100%, but you know what I mean. It's nothing. I don't hand out meal plans. Those are just crap anyway. I work with you, and everyone's body is different. So what works for me might not work for you, or what works for you might not work for me. So, we work over the 12 weeks to get you to a plan that is going to work for you, where you're not losing muscle, you're not slowing your metabolism, and the medicine's actually working. You're spending a lot of money on this medicine, so you want it to work, right? I'll have a link in the show notes so you can read about my program, and also to book a call and just to chat about it and see if it's a right fit for you. But please, please, please make sure you're getting your protein. I will never get off that soapbox, just saying. But thank you for listening, and I will be in your headphones next week.